Hey everybody, thank you for joining me on the virtual reality presentation. If you think about it in a sense, this presentation, this online class is kind of a virtual reality in and of itself. We're all virtually sitting together in a classroom and watching this presentation unfold. Just a new reality if you think about it. So I'm just going to go ahead and get line of what we're going to talk about is what virtual reality actually is, and then as a part of something that's slightly different but also a part of virtual reality is augmented reality, which I'll get into, and then some of the uses and some of the products and a little bit of a brief history on virtual reality itself, as well as augmented reality, and then I'll jump into the future of the technology, where it's kind of heading, and then I'll kind of raise some questions that'll hopefully probe some discussion in discussion boards. So virtual reality and augmented reality are two very different things. They both have to do with, technology and the human body and reality itself. But virtual reality, also known as immersive multimedia and or computer simulated reality, it is what it sounds like. It's virtual, it's not real reality. You're kind of putting on some goggles and jumping into something that's either you aren't physically there or it's computer generated or something like that. And you can see in the picture down on the bottom right, there's a guy playing a video game, a first person shooter using VR, and he's actually kind of walking around on a little dome there. That's really cool. There he's physically walking and it's simulating in the game that he's playing as well. So just a quick definition of what VR is, and sorry, I'm going to use VR as a short for virtual reality, and then augmented reality AR is a shorten for that as well. So VR actually replicates an environment, whether it's real or imagined. So you can use pictures or 3D, three-dimensional, 360-degree cameras to put you in a real place or computer generated to an imagined place. And then it simulates a user's physical presence in the environment, and it allows the user to interact as well as, kind of create artificial sensory experience. So you definitely get sight out of it. You get some touch. Usually there's a lot of hearing, so you'll put some headphones on or something like that. And on rare occasions, you do get some smell, which I have not heard of yet. To move on to augmented reality or AR, it's very similar to virtual reality, but it is actually different. So it's a reality that's augmented or manipulated or changed. So just a quick definition of what AR, the augmented part of it is, it's to make something, so make reality greater by adding to it or increasing it. So essentially you have kind of, if you think about video games or maybe movies and stuff where you physically are seeing the world, but they're kind of adding to what you're seeing, like on a heads-up display. You can kind of see like a radar or a health bar or how much ammo and whatnot you've got. That's usually what you think of. And actually in the bottom picture there is a guy using Microsoft HoloLens to augment his own reality and play a little bit of Minecraft, which is pretty cool. What you'll notice is a lot of these VR and AR are used for media, so like video games or movies, but there are some other applications to it. What was really talked about was in a book in 1935 where it is they talked about what it is because he basically described a thing where you put goggles on and then you're in an alternate reality, and it originated, mostly science fiction for a while until the technology started to develop and you actually got some pretty cool devices out of it. It was really popularized by a lot of movies and a lot of gaming, but some of its other uses are for training, some simulations. You see at the bottom, there's a flight simulator. You can learn to fly and stuff like that with some simulations, as well as some training exercises using simulations. And then a lot of what I've started to see is some of the products are working on like architecture and design, so you can actually project a 3D image in front of you using VR or AR, and then kind of manipulate and walk around the physical object without having to, actually build it. And again, it's not the physical object, it's a generated object that seems real enough as it is. And then life improvement uses is that image over on the right side, as you can see that it's translating Russian into English just by kind of taking a picture of that. So that's some AR uses. On the left here, I kind of got it divided left to right. The left side is virtual reality, and then the right is augmented reality. And I thought it was really cool. The Viewmaster, actually, when we were little kids, that little thing where you look in and kind of flip the pictures around is one of the first that I could find VR toys, I guess, if you want to call it. And then the other few, the one on the far left here is the Nintendo Virtual Boy, which is another, it's a 1995 release, I believe. And then you've got the Oculus Rift, which is another VR, and then the HTC Vive, which actually has more physical manipulation of the virtual environment. And then here on the right, the HoloLens, at the top there, you can kind of see a picture of somebody using the HoloLens to augment their reality, you know, like click on Netflix or Skype, they can view the news, some weather and stuff like that. And then in the middle, they've got the new, I haven't seen this yet, but they're moving towards that, you know, kind of taking IKEA furniture or something and visually like augmenting it, you know, looking around your room, will this fit here, you know? And then at the bottom, there's another one of the products is the Google Glass, but there's also Bing Maps overlay on reality so you can see the stores and the different ratings and stuff like that. So eventually, actually enhancing reality. For the technology, a lot of it is lacking in the actual physical interaction. So walking around, you know, moving your hands, a lot of it's used with controllers and stuff. So the next step will to be get like gloves or something where you can actually move your hands around a little bit. The next step, I've seen a lot actually with E3 just airing a few days ago. There's a lot more gaming coming to VR, so we'll see a lot more enhancement with that. Definitely some augmented reality online shopping, so you kind of put a VR or an AR headset on, and you kind of look at maybe Amazon or IKEA and move the furniture around virtually in your room to see if it fits. There's a lot of practical business applications as well. Not as many as gaming, but the physical business application I've seen is 8451 is working with Kroger to make an app where you hold up your phone and it, like, you know, a box of cereal, you can see a lot of the health facts about it, you know, cholesterol and stuff, without actually having to pull the box off the shelf. And in the future, it can be whatever we want because it's really limited by our imagination, and that's one of the best parts about virtual reality and augmented reality, I think. The last thing I want to do is leave you with some questions here. And where do you think, I know I kind of gave off a few futures of what AR and VR are going to be, but what do you think it's going to be? What do you think some other business applications are for this type of media? And then would you actually buy one? I already have, you know, I did some research a few weeks ago and bought one for my iPhone. And what I'm starting to notice is it's not as far along as I had thought. So again, gaming and videos and stuff like that are very cool, but that would be probably where I believe it's going to go. But, you know, would you actually buy one for gaming or media or otherwise? Here are my references, and actually what I want you to do is to check out this really cool HoloLens video to see where the augmented reality is actually heading. So thank you for watching.